This is PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube.
Hello and welcome to PSN Newsrun. The headlines: Nigeria hits 2025 revenue target in August. Court strikes out 15 years mandatory service military. And on sport, Super Eagles camp in Uyo filling up fast ahead of World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa. And now, details of all our stories. Nigeria hits its 2025 revenue target 4 months early, with President Tinubu crediting reforms and non-oil growth for stabilizing the economy. Jocelyn reports from the State House.
President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria achieved its 2025 revenue target as early as August, with the bulk of earnings coming from the non-oil sector. He attributed the feat to ongoing economic reforms aimed at stabilizing foreign exchange and stimulating wider growth.
Today I'm standing before you, I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying from local bank. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. I've reviewed this morning.
Speaking at the State House while receiving founding members of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change and the Buhari organization, led by former Nasarawa Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura, the president assured that his renewed hope agenda remains anchored on infrastructure, healthcare, food, sovereignty, and security. He added that agricultural mechanization centers will soon be established nationwide to expand cultivation, build capacity, and guarantee food supply.
The economy is stabilized. Nobody is trading piece of paper for exchange rate anymore. When I took over, 1.9 is 1.35, 1.45 now. It's been stabilizing there. People can predict. You don't have to know a Cardozo before you get your foreign exchange, you get your imports. What we need now is building the ship, the vessels for export and import of our goods and create jobs for the people.
The president also pledged to sustain the legacy of former President Muhammadu Buhari, including the establishment of a Buhari House, while promising more opportunities for members of the old CPC to participate in government.
The honesty in Buhari, what we inherited from him, is total commitment to justice, transparency, and success. That's all.
In their remarks, House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas thanked the President for his statesmanship and inclusiveness.
President, to assure you of the unconditional support of all former CPC members to your administration. I'm sure from the caliber of people we see here, you will be convinced that all those saying that CPC is broken, CPC is nowadays administration, is just a lie. More than 90% of those who were active during the time of CPC are represented here.
The delegation led by Umaru Tanko Al-Makura reaffirmed the group's loyalty, praised Tinubu's role during Buhari's state funeral, and pledged full support for the APC government and the president's 2027 bid.
When our leader passed on, the nation grieved and mourned At that moment of disillusionment, you became the symbol of consolation as you presided over the entire procedure for his passage. You did not only bury Muhammad Buhari, but you honored him and ensured a befitting state burial with full military honors. Above all, your presence throughout the ceremony was comforting, as it was reassuring.
With the revenue target already surpassed, the administration says the focus now is on exports, job creation, and delivering tangible results from ongoing reforms. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
Still on State House, President Tinubu has ordered an urgent review of security in Katsina with new drones, stronger forest guards, and the prospect of state police on the table. Let's join Joycelyn for the details.
President Bola Tinubu has ordered an immediate review of security operations in Katsina State following renewed bandit attacks. Receiving a delegation led by Governor Diko Umaru Rada at the State House, the President announced the deployment of advanced military hardware, surveillance drones, and a daily feedback system on operations. He also confirmed plans to upgrade forest guards and consider the establishment of state police.
What is happening in the country and the security challenges that we have is surmountable. Yes, we have a very porous border. We inherited, the weaknesses which should have been conquered and buried earlier on, but it's the challenge that we got to face.
The president stressed that insecurity is surmountable, noting Nigeria's porous borders and inherited weaknesses, while promising reforms to protect citizens, schools, worship centers, and farmlands. He also assured that former President Muhammadu Buhari will be immortalized for his legacy of stability and success. Governor Rada thanked the president for appointments of Katsina indigenes and infrastructure support, but requested more federal backing on security, youth empowerment, and development.
But Mr. President, I would like to thank you very much, and I want to say it before the elders of our state that there was never a time I came to Mr. President with any request that Mr. President rejected that request. I was with Mr. President on Saturday, and I requested for this audience. He granted this audience there and then, and he said you can bring whatever number you want to bring. We thank you, Mr. President, for this singular honor that you have been doing to us.
Former Governor Aminu Bello Masari appreciated the honor given Buhari with a state funeral and pledged the state's loyalty.
We know you have the courage, the vision, the ability to confront odds. You have taken very hard decisions. Only leaders can take. Normally, we politicians are known to be afraid of the next election. But the decisions you have taken on behalf of this country are decisions that show that you love the country more than the next election. I'm sure God, Allah and His infinite mercy will be with you. We are assuring you that under the leadership of the governor, Dr. Umar Dukwarada, Katsina will be delivered in all elections to APC, inshallah.
The Waziri of Katsina, Senator Ibrahim Ida, commended ongoing rail and infrastructure projects but called for an airport upgrade and more security attention in southern Katsina.
While thanking Mr. President for all the foregoing, however, we must also take this opportunity to draw the attention of Mr. President that as at today, the execution of the following road projects, which were started in earnest, have been abandoned by the contractors. The Katsina-Kano Road Dualization Project, the Daura-Kano Road Dualization Project, and the Yashe-Malumfashi-Funtua Project. Mr. President, we want to stress that people forget who starts a project, but never forget who completes it.
The president's directive signals a renewed push against insecurity in Katsina while reinforcing broader reforms in policing and community protection. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
The federal government wants to redesign police uniforms by removing pockets. Officials say it's a bold step to curb bribery. But the big question is, will it work? Ella takes us on this report.
The federal government is moving to redesign police uniforms by removing pockets. It's an unusual step, but one officials say is aimed at tackling bribery on the street. Pockets make it easy for officers to collect and conceal cash during stop-and-search operations. By eliminating them, the government hopes to make bribery harder and increase accountability. But this is not the only measure on the table. Authorities are also considering the use of CCTV cameras and body cams to monitor officers, especially traffic police who face the most complaints. Reports of extortion at checkpoints remain one of the biggest public grievances against the police. Despite reform, roadside bribery has persisted, damaging trust in the law enforcement. For the government, the pocket removal plan is part of a wider effort to restore credibility and discipline in the force. Nigeria's police have long struggled with issues of welfare, funding and oversight. Analysts say these conditions fuel petty corruption, turning roadblocks into revenue points for some officers. Uniform changes alone may not solve the problem, but they send a strong signal that new approaches are being tried. Critics argue that without better pay, training and strict enforcement, the measure could end up symbolic. Supporters counter that even symbolic steps matter, especially when combined with technology and stronger monitoring system, whether practical or symbolic. The government believes pocket-free uniforms are another step toward reshaping policing culture and curbing everyday corruption. Ella Okechukwu, PS News.
Nigeria's Industrial Court has struck down the 15-year compulsory service rule for military officers. Why was the rule created, and how will its reversal affect the armed forces? Daniel's got the full story.
Nigeria's National Industrial Court has struck out a regulation requiring military officers to serve at least 15 years before resigning. It all started with Flight Lieutenant J.A. Akrile of the Air Force, whom challenged the rule after his resignation request was denied and he was labelled absent without leave. Justice Emmanuel Subilim ruled that the 15 years clause in the Armed Forces Harmonized Terms and Conditions of Services violates the Constitution and amounts to modern-day slavery. The 15 years rule was originally designed to protect military from high turnover, safeguard government investment in training officers, and maintain stability in the ranks. Authorities feared that without it, officers could quit after getting expensive training, leaving manpower gaps. The court declared that officers, like other public servants, have the right to resign freely. Service rule, it states, cannot override constitutional rights. By striking it down, the court gives officers more control over their careers, but it also raises concerns for the military. Analysts warn the ruling may lead to higher exit rates, possible manpower shortages, and a rethink in how the forces manage recruitment and training costs. The Ministry of Defense has not responded yet, but a review of service policy is expected. The ruling shifts the balance between institutional control and individual freedom, redefining what it means to serve in Nigeria's armed forces. Reporting for PS News, Daniel Okejeme.
A new DNA-based breast cancer test is now available in Nigeria, offering faster, more accurate diagnosis and potentially reducing unnecessary chemotherapy. Ella is here with the full scoop.
Nigeria has introduced a new DNA-based breast cancer test aimed at reducing reliance on chemotherapy by enabling faster and more precise treatment decisions. A new testing program launched in partnership with Roche and Oncopathy Technologies offers free DNA-based immunohistochemistry testing for 5,000 newly diagnosed breast cancer patients across the country. It is part of the Breast Cancer Access Navigation and Testing Brand Initiative. Nearly 32,000 new breast cancer cases are projected in Nigeria this year, with delayed diagnosis and general lack of access contributing to poor outcomes. By offering quick and accurate testing, the program aims to reduce unnecessary chemotherapy and optimize treatment paths early on. Brand integrates patient navigation, digital support, and multidisciplinary care. Patients receive test results and guidance through a streamlined platform, cutting delays and simplifying access to care. With projections showing up to 88 new cases daily in 2025, early detection and tailored treatment are critical. Brand responds to these challenges by fast-tracking diagnosis and improving patient choices. Health advocates say this could lessen the financial and physical cost of chemotherapy for many women. By localizing testing and care coordination, brands may set a precedent for future precision medicine programs in Nigeria. The launch of this DNA-based test through the Brands program represents a promising step toward personalized breast cancer care in Nigeria, aiming to lighten the chemo load and improve outcomes faster. Ella Okechukwu, PS News.
Burkina Faso has just passed a sweeping new law banning homosexuality. What's in the law? Why now? And what does it mean for the country and its people? Joycelyn is on the international desk.
Burkina Faso has introduced a new law criminalizing homosexuality. The transitional parliament voted to amend the family code, making same-sex acts punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison and fines up to 10 million francs, around $15,000. Justice Minister Edaso Rodrigue Bayala described the move as necessary to protect cultural and moral values. He said offenders will be prosecuted in line with the new code. Since the 2022 military takeover, the ruling junta under Captain Ibrahim Traoré has promoted laws that emphasize tradition and national identity. The ban on homosexuality aligns Burkina Faso with regional neighbors like Mali, Uganda, and Ghana, which have also tightened restrictions in recent years. Analysts note the law strengthens the junta's domestic support among conservative groups. It may also shape the country's relations with international partners, some of whom view such legislation as controversial. Burkina Faso now joins more than half of African countries where homosexuality is illegal, making a significant legal and political shift under its current leadership. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
And now on sports. From the Super Eagles camp bubbling in Uyo to Bayelsa Queens eyeing continental glory and Ademola Lookman securing a Champions League spot with Atalanta, Sam says it's a big week for Nigerian football.
The Super Eagles World Cup qualifiers build-up is gathering momentum as 9 more players have checked into camp in Uyo, raising the tally to 13. The new arrivals include Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, Dele Bashiru, Ola Aino, Bright Osai Samuel, Moses Simon, Chidozie Awaziem, Adebayo Adeleye, and Benjamin Fredericks. They join the quartet of William Trust Ekong, Amos Ogbasoge, Felix Agu, and Rafael Onyedika, who arrived on Monday. According to team officials, 10 more players are expected later today and tomorrow, with full training sessions and media engagements scheduled at the Goswill Akpabio Stadium. Nigeria faced Rwanda on Saturday in Uyo before heading to South Africa for Matchday 8 in Bloemfontein. Bayelsa Queens have booked their place in the Waffle B Women's Champions League final and will face host ASEC Mimosa of Cote d'Ivoire on Friday. White Ogbonda's side came from behind to edge USFA of Burkina Faso 2-1 in the semi-final. Imem Esin and Akekeromo Way were the scorers for the Nigerian champions after Comfort Yeboah early opener. In the other semi-final, ASEC Mimosa thrashed Ghana Police Ladies 4-1. The final will be staged at the Charles Conan Barney Stadium, with USFA and Police Ladies will battle for the third place. CAF Player of the Year Ademola Lookman will feature in this season's UEFA Champions League after Atalanta included him in their official squad list. The Nigerian forward had been the subject of strong transfer speculation, with Inter Milan leading the chase, but talks broke down as they failed to meet Atalanta's valuation. There was also late interest from Turkey and Bayern Munich, but no deal materialized. With the window shut, Lookman remains in Bergamo and is set to play in Europe's top competition, despite tension over his attempted move. He is also expected to join the Super Eagles for the 2026 World Cup qualifier this month. This is Samuel Akban for PS News.
With that report, we wrap it up on PSN Newsrun, where news is made simple. I am Uluwatosin Deba. Good evening.
You just watched PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube. This is your trusted voice for news that matters. Subscribe, like, share, and stay informed.